Good evening, welcome to my channel. My name is David Okun. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your help. And those who have been committed and those who are still discovering us, we are a new project, 1 month. And I'm so pleased to see you again in this program. We are making steady progress. We've been talking about the cost of living. We have also been talking about um we've been talking about capitalism as well, cost of living. Talk about many things. We've been tying many things together with the cost of living. Now you know that the cost of living is something affecting everyone. Doesn't matter where you are. You can be in the UK. I am in the UK. And you can be in Africa, you can be in the Middle East, you can be in Syria, you can be in any part of the world. It's a global problem. The cost of living is a global problem. It's affecting everyone. It's affecting the majority of the global population. Because when we talk about people, citizens of the world, we talk about citizens of the world, we talk about people like you and I, normal people who are not rich, people who are, in many ways, they work for a living. If you think you are rich, that is okay. If you work for a living, then you're probably rich, but not very rich. But there is a possibility that you might be actually poor. A lot of people actually borrow money from credit companies, especially in the developed world. They borrow money, which is good. They buy expensive things, furniture, in the living room, in the bedrooms, cooking things. Credit is still available. I don't know how available is it. Leave a comment below and let me know if you think there is still easy access to credit. If you think there is less access, it is no longer easy to access credit in your country. It doesn't matter which country you are. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Subscribe to this channel and support it. I want this channel to grow. I've been telling people again and again, and a lot of people have been really responding. We had a lot of subscription for a young channel like mine. For me, it's about managing expectation. We are 1 month. And normally, if you start a project like this, you want it to grow quickly. I want it to grow quickly, but I have to manage my expectation because YouTube channeling is quite competitive. It's like the market. It's also the product of the market economy system. People compete for attention. We talk about cost of living. We talk about capitalism. It's a political economic system. Capitalism is an economic system. It's about capital. Capital is wealth. Sometimes, if it is really functioning well, there is a lot of wealth. Normally, it's a lot of wealth accumulating in one place. It's really big money. And capitalism is for the few and not the many. Not many people access lots of money. in societies. Doesn't matter where you live, whether you are in the UK, whether in the Western world, whether you're in the developed world, whether you live in Africa, in the nature of its functioning, in the nature of the thing, capitalism is for the few and not for the many. That's why you have multimillionaires. You have multi-billionaires in the world. In the future, maybe in 50 years' time, we are going to have multi-trillionaires. These are the few and not the many. They're the few and not the many. And that is what capitalism represents. It's the opposite of socialism. Socialism refers to the many and not the few. And it worked when we created in the West something called social capitalism or welfare capitalism or state capitalism. State capitalism is so strong in something resembling the public sectorial aspect of the economy. And what we see when the state intervene in the economy to support the many who do not have access to wealth. In the classical sense of the word, wealth. It's in having loads and loads and loads of money, loads and loads and loads of things. They're called millionaires, multi-millionaires, billionaires, multi-billionaires. They are really, really rich. These are the few. That is the meaning of capitalism. And it is global. We discussed in the other videos, we talk about globalization in terms of the cost of living. If you want to solve a problem, such as the cost of living, you need to know how the problem is created. Capitalism created the cost of living. It creates things like the cost of living. It creates events, situations like the cost of living. The government can tell you whatever they like. You can talk about the war in Ukraine. You can talk about Brexit in the UK and in Europe, the COVID-19 global pandemic. We can talk about that. That is also part of the causes. But you see, globalization and capitalism are responsible for people moving around with lots and lots of resources, even if they are not rich. People still get. There are a lot of people who get paid well. They are not really rich, but they are doing well. They're well off. These are in the UK about 50% of the population, and across the globe, likewise, quite similar. And they're happy. They have good jobs. They have good income. They go on holidays. They are really doing well. They don't even sometimes feel crisis, such as happening now. But, there comes a time when you're trying to solve a problem, there is an invitation to try and think. Use your head. You can use your heart as well. You can be emotional about it. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, emotions is good. We are humans. And we are entitled to love one another. Sometimes emotion also means hatred, but I prefer love, and that is a good thing. But sometimes when you need to solve a problem like the cost of living, you need to think what caused the cost of living. There are people who need immediate help. These are people who are badly off. Maybe not everyone, maybe only 20% of the global population, especially here in the UK, perhaps also in Europe, just a few. I mean, 20% is not that many. But there is a middle ground who might we now suffering the impact of the cost of living. And I also say the cost of living is going to take long. It's not something happening just temporarily. It could be temporary, but the likelihood is that it's going to be the way of life, because everything happening, like we had the financial crisis, it created a lot of problems for ordinary people who are not wealthy. And this was actually about 10 years ago. It began in 2008. I think it climaxed in 2010. And we got something called the credit crunch. Credit crunch created a lot of poverty. It created a lot of imbalances. Actually, some politicians like George Bush, I think, I don't know which one. I think the junior one. The junior one. George Bush Jr. He described the global crisis as economy adjusting. You heard things about structural adjustment policies, especially in Africa, but also in many parts of the world. Structural adjustment policies. You heard about that. Economy is adjusting. It's structurally adjusting. Leave a comment below if you know what structural adjustment is. If you know what its policy is, leave a comment below. Let me know. But every time we talk of adjustment, we talk about reform. Reform, we are actually, because the global economy now is being run by capitalism of different sorts. Capitalism, soft capitalism, moderate capitalism, extreme capitalism. What we now see is actually we are moving towards the extreme type of capitalism. We are going extreme capitalism towards the right wing, the right, what do you call it? The right, what's the word? There's a particular word to describe where you stand politically. The spectrum. You know, the right spectrum of your economic beliefs, your mentality, your mindset, but probably also your culture. Because if you, I mean, the world is so complex. And if you see, if you start talking about these things, you know, you come around a lot of surprises. I mean, you can be really surprised because the system is really complex, and it goes on and on and on. Different people having different ideas about different things, but one thing remains: we are humans, and I talk about the cultural economy. That means education. You know, you use your head, you think, you learn, you read. If you read, you become wise. You become wise if you read a lot. Reading is important. Viewing videos, channels such as this is also important because it's learning. You're learning, you have knowledge, you have understanding, you develop wisdom, and I think this is a good thing. People can do it all the times, and people can explore new things, but you can work and work and work. There are people now, because of the cost of living, there are people actually doing 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. That's what I heard. But that is not new for someone like me who came from Africa into the UK. Personally, I have never, well, I have actually studied and worked, studying during the day and working at night. I've done that. And perhaps could also say I have also worked at night and done certain types of jobs at night and also work during the day. I also did that because I work certain jobs at night and work maybe the weekend. People do that, and that is good work. It's a source of success. People can listen to that, or they can ignore it. And in this country and in the developed world, there are there's a tendency of people being on benefits. A lot of people work, and the vast majority of people are working. The reason people work in the UK and in Europe, the reason people work in America, the reason people work anywhere is because the government intervenes in the economy to support the economy to create jobs for people. And I've already said it before, I say it again, that the private sector does not actually create jobs. The private sector doesn't create jobs at all. The jobs the private sector create without contradiction, the job the private sector create, they create it when they need workers. If they don't need workers, which they are not going to need it in the next 20, 30 years because of technology. I said this before also in the previous videos. We need to know that things will keep to change. Now we only have about, if you take admin work, which is actually a major area of service in this country and also in any developed country, admin work. The last time I checked, we had only 1% left in the UK economy. And the retail sector, which is actually the mainstay of employment in this country for students, for young people when they leave university, almost every civil servant, every manager, every director, every top politician or investor or any leader, most of the leaders in the UK have been in the retail sector when they were still young in the retail sector. And the retail sector is, I think, still the biggest employer in the UK and also in the developed world. Something called customer service or retail skills is the best in terms of business, because you learn how to listen to customers. Customer is your priority. Every activity in the business actually is customer focused. You pay attention to what they want. Customer is your boss. Customer knows best. Even if they know nothing, you actually, sorry sir, sorry ma'am, madam, we are doing our best. We are doing our best to make sure you're happy. So making customers happy is at the heart of business, is at the heart of capitalism. Customer service and customer focus, that is now the kind of language we use in our modern economy, whether you're in Africa, whether you're abroad. And if you have a shop, a customer comes into the shop, you kind of like focus on them, even if you're not talking to them verbally, even if you're not approaching them. If you're going to really offer a service, don't be too aggressive or don't be too laid back. You need to really be good. And with practice, with training, with scientific, get music in the shop, music in the stores to keep them happy. You have to keep customer happy. And that is actually at the heart of customer service. Customer service is at the heart of business functioning, business operations. And businesses drive capitalism, the market. The market will not work if the business is not working. So businesses are really central. They generate money. And the priority of a businessman or woman is to make money, not to create jobs. They create jobs because they want you to work for them. So where that gap is left, the government always fill the gap either by supporting employers to raise salary. If they were paying employers, if they were employers were paying people minimally, and what is might be termed as the minimum wage, if they were only giving maybe in the UK maybe £7 per hour or £8 an hour, which is quite low, in my opinion, I think minimum wage in the UK should be £20, £20 at least, and those on benefits should get at least about £15 an hour. True, because if the government is going to help people get people out of poverty, whether they are working or not. Because the reason there is benefit, because there is not enough work. There is not enough work. Capitalism is not designed to create jobs. Full employment in a capitalistic system is a myth. Basic economics. It is actually designed to maximize profit. That's why I'm talking about it. You think it is not what you want to hear? Leave a comment below. I don't tell me you don't want to hear anything about capitalism. I might stop talking about capitalism, but I might not, because it's so important that I will do everything in my power to persuade you to listen. If I cannot persuade you to listen about capitalism, then I will try to send you somewhere else, away from this channel, if I know where to send you, where you can really learn about capitalism and enjoy it more than learning about it from this channel. I mean, if I know where to refer you, if I know a channel talking really much better than this channel about capitalism, because it's really important, everybody should know. But if you know a channel better than my channel talk about capitalism, let me know. But leave a comment below so that I can go and watch it, because I need to learn about capitalism. I've been doing a research, I've been reading material and sharing the information with you. I'm learning about capitalism because it's so important. Because it's the only economic system now. And if you're poor, be an expert on the subject of poverty. If you want to be rich, be an expert on the topic of wealth. And the topic of wealth, to surpass all topics, is actually capitalism. Because underneath it sounds like politics, but it is the economic system responsible for the market economy. The market economy is responsible for the businesses. If you do business in the market, in the open square, you are serving under capitalism. You're a capitalist. Yes, it may be a small business, it may be a medium business. If you go to a restaurant, if you're going abroad, traveling in an airline, on an airline, in an airplane, you get hospitality treatment. You get good customer service. That is capitalism. You stop to whatever you are trying to do, have a drink, have a meal, or even go to a party. These are all capitalism. Anything to do with business, things we enjoy. You go to supermarket, that is capitalism. Everything is capitalism. Even if you're in the UK here, in the developed world, if you're buying cat food, dog food, that is capitalism. Everything you do, your clothing, the shop you use, the water always come in, the water coming into your property, the energy you use, capitalism. Written, look at the book you read, the TV you watch, the car you drive, the buses you travel in, the trains, the airplane, the boats, the games you play, the friends you visit, they cook for you, they get the food from the supermarket. Capitalism. So neglect capitalism at your own risk. If you're a child, if you're a woman, a lady, a gentleman, an elderly, be an expert on capitalism. If you watch this video, talk about capitalism to everyone. Say, be an expert on capitalism. Perhaps in 5 years, in 10 years, when the next cost of living happens and you are an expert on capitalism, you're going to know how to avoid it, how to address it, how to deal with it. It is an income problem. The cost of living is an income problem. It's also an outgoing. Income is the opposite of outgoing. What comes in and what goes out. What goes out is what you spend. And normally, people borrow money to spend and they are in debt. That even makes the situation worse. Buy now, pay later. Buy now, pay later. We do it all the times. It is good if we are buying. It is exciting if you buy new things on credit. The hardest bit is when you fall into debt and the money is going out. I'm stating the obvious. This is what people go through every day. Okay? Sometimes people actually sometimes people what they do people actually what people do people throw away food, people waste water. So that's sometimes what people do. I'm not saying they do it, but that's sometimes that's what happens. People leave the heater on unnecessarily, even if they shouldn't. So cutting waste is a lesson you can learn from the cost of living. So people need to really think, because without thinking, you are going to access power. You see, when part of the reason I'm doing this video is to provide information to actually get you to think. The moment you start thinking, you are being empowered. You are empowering yourself, because the next thing you're going to start doing research, looking for information, you get even more knowledge and wisdom and understanding. See, you have options. You know how to deal with complicated and simple issues because you learn. A learner, be a learner. We are in the modern age. Even if you don't go to school, you have television, you have social media, you learn everything and anything. Probably we learn more now from YouTube's. And I mean, you can be a professor by watching YouTube. So do not neglect YouTube. If you're going to watch it, watch mine. Watch mine only. No, I don't mean that. Look for the best. If mine, I mean, watch mine, even if it's not the best, because I think I'm raising some really important points, which can lead you to a better channel. It can trigger your thought, to do a research. It can, at my channel, it doesn't matter how it is, whether it's good or bad. It can help you to think, to start thinking in a different way, and you will be shocked how much you can learn. I mean, you can learn from the day you were born, even from your mother's home, to the day you are on your deathbed. You will still be learning. People can learn, definitely. You can learn and learn and learn and learn and learn. Even if you're playing, even if you are at a party, even if you're having a meal, even if you're visiting your friend, you can always be a student. You can learn from any situations. You're having a bath, you're having a shower. See, you're running in the park. You're learning always, and learning is the source of power, and power helps you to survive things like the cost of living. So there's a correlation of giving information. This I'm actually solving a problem of the cost of living by talking about things, critical things responsible for causing the cost of living, so that we know how to solve the problem. If you watch the rest of my video, and in the next coming days and week, I will be creating a playlist, because this playlist will help me to put similar videos together, so that you don't have to look. There is a lot of problem, finding the right video to watch. Like things to do with capitalism, the cost of living, capital. I'm going to put them together. Capitalism and cost of living and globalization. I put them together. and cost of living and the welfare state, put them together, and so on and so forth. Thank you for watching this video, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, share the video, leave a comment below, click a notification bell so that you can be notified for a new video. We are 1 month old. We want to grow. My job is now to create the videos, the content will be improving with new cameras and so on and so forth. Thank you. Bye bye.